What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the MPP, the Noah and Patrick podcast. Well,
Yeah.
that's not it. Welcome, everyone, to a new series. That is not Noah. And yeah, so that is Derrick Ow. Um, we thought about an idea of starting a podcast together where we talk about golf through our a wonderful company that we both work at, but it didn't go as planned, so now we're just going to do it on our own because we still think it's a great idea, and we still want to talk about golf. So fun little new series that are is going to be posted on both of our channels. Excited for it. Should be fun. We're going to be talking about all the majors in golf. This week we are going to talk about the Players Championship, not formally, known as the fifth major. So, yeah, I'm Patrick. If no one knows me on Derek's channel, go ahead, Derek.
What's going on? Come inside this audio and visual wonderland known as the NPP podcast and Nichols from the upper deck. No, it's a crossover episode. That's what we're going to call it, folks. The crossover episode. I think I'm leading in Patrick's show. This is like my third time on, with the crossover. I think might be time with your sisters in law. I know Patrick officially now a two-time guest on this show, many more to come. So yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about the game because a lot of people, believe it or not, especially a lot of our high school friends, believe it or not, now watch golf. What? Where were you a decade ago, my brothers and sisters? Where were you a decade ago? So yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, we're going to talk about the game in general, focusing obviously, of course, on the PJ Tour and a little bit on Live. Of course, I know we got some Live golfers that are bot accounts in the chat. So yeah, looking forward to it. And this is our first show. So if you got Daniel confused, it's been a long day at work, my brothers and sisters. So if you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, might be an S show as they say, but yeah, we're just gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah, so we had Bay Hill Invitational this last weekend. Russell Henley taking the title there.
Yeah.
I would say upsetting maybe. I think a lot of people had Morikawa coming out on top after he took a three-shot lead during the round over Henley.
Yeah.
But Morikawa didn't look too sharp coming down to the end there, and Russell Henley chipping in for eagle on 16, which was pretty crazy. If it didn't hit the hole, that thing was in the water. So
Yeah. Yeah, Russell's been playing terrific golf over the past couple years. I think a lot he gets lost in the weeds there. Obviously, with your star power with Scottie dominating, you're getting the JT bounce back year. With Spieth gonna bounce back eventually, so he's been really just dialed in. He's just been going about his business, ho hum. Made the Presidents Cup team last year, was a pivotal part of that comeback that they had against the international team in Montreal. So, and he's seventh in the world. I think not a lot of people realize that dude is number seven in the
he's a
world.
quiet seven.
Yeah. And I think he said, I was watching the PJ Tour The Cut on Golf Channel. He's like, I don't feel like a top 10 player in the world. And when you say that and you repeat it, I'm like, damn, that's a cold dude right there. That's a dude that just goes about his business. Would not be surprised to see him contend again because I feel like he loves playing in these big events. And one thing about the players, you get some weird, you obviously get your legends that won here. The late great Calvin Pete, the GOAT, Jack Nicklaus, obviously, Tiger, Phil. Jason Day, you can throw in there. And then you get some odd ones. We had Craig Perks back in 2002 with those chip ins. We've had, let's see, Steve Elkington, who's, has a couple majors under his belt. Siwoo Kim a couple years back.
Yeah,
And Webb Simpson a couple years back. Tim Clark in 2010. So you just get
yeah,
some oddball winners. And sometimes I think once a year for these big events, whether it's the players or the four majors, you just are going to get an odd ball winner. It's just bound to happen.
yeah.
I think last year was just so special. with Scottie winning the Masters and then he winning the gold medal. Bryson with that electric finish at Pinehurst, the U.S. Open, and then Xander, obviously with that electric finish at Valhalla, including the Scottie arrest, but we won't mention that. That's for Netflix. And then Xander.
That episode was crazy.
Yeah, that episode was bonkers, folks. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And then Xander going just about his business at Lytham and St. Anne's. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I expect be a fine Players Championship.
Yeah, I mean, what else more can you say about that? But yeah, I mean, Bay Hill, is a little warm up. It's too bad it's a signature event and not the whole field is there.
Yeah,
But goes right into the Players Championship, and it's the start of the majors, and it feels good. We're a month away from the Masters, which
uh
I'm excited for this year. I mean, I'm excited every year, but can't wait for that.
yeah, yeah. It's the Super Bowl of our sport to me. I think any player that grows up, you either want to win the Masters or the
Yeah,
Claret Jug, in my opinion. Those are my two favorite majors, the Open Championship. And yeah, I mean, I think everybody's games are trying to peak at this point. The season's been weird a little bit. We haven't had a guy that's won two tournaments yet. Most of the winners have been international, just a variety. It's been a
yep.
really weird year, a lot of good comeback stories, a lot of heartfelt stories.
Yeah, before the Bay Hill, we had two first-time winners with
Yeah.
Brian Campbell
Yeah.
and Joe Highsmith
Yeah, Joe Highsmith came out of nowhere, barely making the cut at I
on
still
the
call it
number.
the classic, but it's the Cognizant Classic and
Well,
the
yeah, whatever it
all
is.
beaches, whatever. BJ National. The dude just lit it on fire. I mean, I didn't expect him to win, and then all of a sudden I just pull up on my phone. He's like, oh, dang,
Yeah,
16, 17 under. So,
yeah.
yeah, it should be, it's been an interesting season on the PJ Tour.
Yeah, but so before we get into our winners and maybe a dark horse for the Players Championship, like Derek said in the opener, Live Golf, huh? In Hong Kong. I didn't watch any of it, but I did watch the highlights and I did take some notes on this. Okay, are you ready
Yeah,
for these two
go for it.
notes?
Go for
Only
it.
two. Sergio in the red, his outfit on Sunday, that's a horrible look. Man, that's too red. I know he's from Spain and everything, but man, he's got the neon red going on, and it's not a good look for him.
Fireballs GC, baby. That's where the team is at. Um, I didn't realize when I started my new job, and yes, I work with Patrick. I know he loves that working with him 5 days a week. I didn't realize how many live golf fans we had in the house in Pebble Beach, Poppy Hills, and then yeah, everybody got the gear. I think I saw who was it? One of our coworkers. Shout out to Bryce, by the way. I think I remember saying, "Yeah, this guy wore a Majestics GC hat at one of the tournaments last year." But yeah,
Yeah,
Sergio just dissected the Hong Kong golf club apart. That course looks very tight. So I think that's his first win. I don't know, probably in like 4 or 5 years.
yeah.
Shocker was what happened to Dustin Johnson. The dude finished in last place.
Dude, he's just there for a good time. I don't know if
There
you
for
saw
the
his video with Grant Horvat and Phil Mickelson, but that dude was he's just chilling. I think he's just gonna finish out his live contract, and then
yeah.
he said he's gonna move to the Bahamas and just chill out
Yeah, man.
for the
Yes.
rest of his life.
It's so interesting. Anthony Kim, by the way, finished above him, which is insane. But to tie it back into the Players' Championship, we do have a former live golfer, the first one that qualified via the world rankings. He's going to be playing at TPC Sawgrass. Laurie Cantor, who played in, I believe, the inaugural season, which was, I can't believe it's been 3 years since Live started, back in 2022. So he was able to qualify by playing on the DP World Tour, and now he's going to be playing the Players. So that should be an interesting storyline in itself. I know the PGA Tour Commissioner, Jay Monahan, spoke vaguely, of course, going around the bush of when the merger is going to
Yeah.
happen. It will happen, folks. I said it from 2022. All these guys are going to come hug and hold hands and kumbaya. You're gonna see all these guys back together again. If they have allowed Derrick Ow to run the show, we could have got done this year. But fortunately, here we are, just talking about it on
Yeah.
the Birdies and Banter chapter one.
And then the second point that I had from Hong Kong,
Yeah,
this gentleman is not gonna play this week, but he will be playing in the Masters. Phil Mickelson, solo third. It's his best individual finish since joining Live, which is kind of crazy to think about. Um,
it's that four wellness coffee, man, that kept him up
oh,
in Hong
jeez.
Kong. I think the bag for that was, I think my parents checked, it was like 40 or $50.
Yeah,
I'd rather take Big Face coffee from Jimmy Butler on
yeah,
the
for wellness, man. That's
Red Hot Warriors. But yeah, good to see Phil play well. I think the game's better when Phil just has these out of nowhere top five finishes. I believe that was his first top five in about, I want to say since the Masters, I want to say 2023. I think that was with John Rahm.
yeah.
Yeah, 2023. So we'll see. You can never count him out at Augusta because he knows that place so well. And yeah, it should be interesting. I know they play in Singapore this weekend on FS1, FS2. So if you are just going to watch golf all weekend, especially with it raining here in beautiful California, Central Coast California, Hollister and Salinas, you might want to watch Live Golf from like 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. for all your golf sickos out there.
Yeah, what an interesting time over there. Like that's a shotgun start. They're
Yeah.
introducing the players when they get to the first tee. It's weird. It's a
And
weird time over there.
And
But
then you hear music, by the way, it's so bizarre. You hear like, because it's normal for us when we play music, Patrick, you usually have your speaker going, but it's so odd to see it at a pro tournament and they're blaring boop, 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 boop. And then you hear, oh, now on the tee, Anthony Kim.
yeah,
Boop, boop.
yeah.
Oh
Some
my
guys wearing
God.
shorts. It's a weird thing. But if
Yeah,
we're gonna keep talking about it on here on the Birdies and Banter new series.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to start watching more live golf highlights. I'm not watching live golf just, in my free time. I'm just watching the highlights, and that's plenty for me.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that.
Next, what we got on the dock here? Scotty Scheffler, huh? He had the injury. Okay, he had the injury in January. That's what he said. He had surgery on his left hand, right hand.
I believe it was the right hand, from what
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And he didn't play at Kapalua, and he didn't play at what was the other one that he
The
committed?
American Express,
American Express, yeah.
trades. Yeah.
So I mean, he had a slow start to this season, but he is looking to go for a back to back to back three-peat at the Players Championship.
Yeah.
Do you think he has the ability to win or not?
I think it's interesting. I think everybody expects Scotty from last year, which is probably going to go down as one of the greatest golf seasons ever.
Yeah.
Winning the Masters, winning the Olympic gold medal, the FedEx Cup, and like what five other wins that he had on the year. And then obviously he won the Hero World Challenge too. And then I think everybody, right before the Century down in Kapalua, I think everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna be another same season. How many majors? We're gonna go four, all four, three, two." And then he has that freak injury, making ravioli using a wine glass. I think
Weird, weird
honest
time.
lesson, folks. If you have a job with your hands, and this is like typing, don't use a wine glass, to make ravioli. I know there's some debacle with
He
the
saw it in the TikTok though.
yeah, the VRBO. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I mean, I think that course, there's certain courses I think that you already know he's going to contend at, and that's going to be Augusta, and that's going to be at TPC Sawgrass. One thing about Pete Dye and the Sawgrass, it doesn't really favor a lot of guys too much. It's just a course for that anybody can win at. You always see the smaller hitters like Tim Clark and Webb Simpson just dissect that course with irons, wedges, and making putts. And then obviously we see the big bombers. We see Jason Day do it, Tiger with precision, fairway woods. And Scotty's done it with a little bit of both. You saw that hole out he had last year in the final round. I believe it was on hole 6, where he held it out for about, well, I would say like 160, and that
Yep.
got started his round. And then he was a Wyndham Clark lip out on the 18th away from going to a
Yep.
playoff. I think the issue that I've seen with Scottie though, he hasn't the putting's kind of been a little off. I think there's
Switch
just
to the claw.
yeah, he switched to the claw, which he was automatic at Albany in the Bahamas. But I think there he's barely like misreading it, maybe by 1 foot, 2 foot. I think he's just been having some speed issues. I expect him to get it fixed. He's going to win a tournament this year. And that's what worries me, especially on Saturday and Sunday. But you can never take your foot off the gas pedal with him in the leaderboard because we've seen he can win. If he has a five
Five
shot, he
back,
can
six
win.
backs. Yeah.
Yeah, six back, and he has that firepower that only certain guys like Rory does, where they can just come back out of nowhere. So if he's in that first page of the leaderboard on Saturday night, that dude has a chance.
I think everyone's just thinking about how is he gonna come off like one of the best seasons
It's
in
hard.
PGA history, and I think a lot of people want to see Scotty Scheffler do well. I don't think he's reached the point where for me, I don't think he hasn't exhausted of like winning all every time. Like I think it's cool to see. I think a lot of people are comparing him to Tiger Woods when he was in his prime, literally just winning tournaments by 20 shots. I don't think it's gonna get too that crazy,
Yeah.
but man, the tear that he's been on, what, the last 3 years, basically, just last year, it was, man, he could have won the PGA Championship if he didn't get arrested, probably. So, uh,
Yeah. Yeah, he could have won the I think the PJ was out of sorts. And I think Pinehurst, that course didn't suit him at all, really. Just
yeah,
uh,
it's not
waste
good.
bunkers. But most American players, especially if you have a high ball flight, you struggle at Open Championships. That's just
Yeah,
because you need a lower ball flight. But yeah, it's hard to follow up that year last year as compared to like Tiger in 2000, where you had the Tiger Slam. But obviously Scotty, I think, went up to with the Olympic gold medal, and then I think for a three-peat, I mean, he's starting to push into that, I would say, top 20, top 15 category of greatest male golfers to ever play. Because nobody's done a three-peat, nobody did it back to back at the Players until he did it last year.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's on your, winners list. I don't
Oh,
know if you're
might
choosing
be,
him or not.
might be. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Something that just happened today. Shocking news. Speaking of Tiger Woods, ruptured Achilles, out 4 to 6 months. Brutal to hear. Derek and I, we watched Tiger Woods growing up.
Yeah.
My favorite golfer of all time. Nothing's gonna beat watching Tiger Woods. I mean, I painted my childhood room red and black. So, tough to see for Tiger. I think it it's coming to an end. His career, I mean, it's already ending. It's ended pretty much. He's just stringing along um, some playing time, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna come back. Maybe until like the PNC Championship again, and that's
Yeah.
probably like the only tournament he's gonna play from here on out, unless he goes to the championship tour. But I don't know. It's tough to see, and so no, we aren't gonna see Tiger Woods in the Masters, unfortunately.
Yeah, you won't see him at the Masters, PGA, U.S. Open, which is at Oakmont this year, and then the Open at Royal Portrush. Listen, I think Tiger, he's the greatest of our generation, certainly the greatest of the century. It's been a tough couple months for him. He lost his mom, Tina, a couple week, like mid-January or late January, early
Yeah,
February. And being an only child when you lose, both your parents and, your parents, as people know Tiger's story. His parents always took him to these 9-hole tournaments in Southern California, took him to AJGA tournaments. His mom would be keeping score, walking all 18 holes like, both our moms did for us. And, obviously his dad was his first teacher and lifelong teacher. So I think that's hard on him, especially now that he's basically, you know, by himself. You know, his parents aren't there. He can't just go grab the phone and call him. I just feel devastated for him. I mean, I know he trades like he's a gym rat, naturally a gym rat. We've seen, you know, he's done Marine training, Navy SEAL training before. He kind of was the first one to lift weights. So yeah, it's sad. And I think the Champions Tour, it keeps coming closer and closer. I know he turns 50, I believe, this year or next year. I think it's another year. And I know he will probably most likely dominate that because, you know, half the tournaments you get to use your cards. So I wouldn't say like his competitive career's over yet because I just want to see him on the Champions Tour and play with majority of his friends that are already up there.
Yeah.
Where, you know, obviously it's most of the tournaments too are, you know, 54 holes where you start Friday through Sunday. But to me, I think obviously it's just been a really now you throw in this, he's been helping out with the PGA Live negotiations as well. So it's sad. Obviously, it sucks because I think anytime you add Tiger to any major championship, any big golfing event, it just that you get the mainstream eyeballs going to the TV. So I know ratings will take a hit a little bit, but you know, obviously, just hope Tiger has a smooth recovery and just you know, just kind of just heals himself too. I just from losing his mom a couple weeks ago, and just takes time for himself and just be there with his kids. That's all you can ask, really. Just hopefully we'll maybe see him down later in the year at the Ritz-Carlton Orlando PNC Championship. You know, he's wanting to win that. That's like his sixth major, and then maybe at his tournament.
It's probably like the most competitive golf tournament all year long.
Yeah, man.
Honestly,
Get all the legends. Little
crazy.
John Daly out there too, or John Daly the second now he wants to be called. But Charlie duking it out. That was fun to watch, and I've just never seen so much attention on kids because of who their either their moms are or their dads are.
Yeah.
It's insane the coverage of that tournament.
Just makes so much sense, you know. Children following in their parents'
Yeah,
footsteps. So,
yeah.
Annika Sorenstam's son, I guess.
Will, yeah,
Man,
Will,
dude, that guy's gonna be a baller when
yeah,
he even grows up even more. And we've seen that guy for like a good 10 years already.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Tiger Woods, just devastated
Mhm.
to see and to hear that he won't be playing in any of the majors this year.
Yeah. Heal up, Tiger.
Yeah. All right. The moment that we've all been waiting for.
Dun dun dun.
Who are our winners for this week's Players Championship?
Woo. So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna go dark horse first, and then we'll go five through one, and then.
Yeah, my players aren't in order five through one. You know, I just gave five players and then my
Okay.
dark horse. So
Okay.
I can go first if
Okay.
you want me
Go
to.
for it.
All right. My first pick in the 2025 Players Championship draft. You cannot use this player. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going with my boy Shane Lowry.
I like it.
I feel like I choose Shane Lowry in all these major events. He's starting, you know, he won the Zurich with Rory last year, and I think that really like kickstarted his career. I mean, he's been playing well in every tournament he plays. He's near the top of the leaderboard. He was the 36 hole leader at Bay Hill, but
Yeah.
he fell off at on the weekend. But Shane Lowry, he just proves himself over and over. You know, if it gets windy at TBC, I'm sure it will. He battles through. He plays in rough weather. He's from Ireland. So, yeah, I'm going with Shane Lowry as my first pick.
Okay, okay, I like it. So yes, he is actually number five on my list, and we're just gonna go off
Yeah,
my order here. And then after Patrick says his player, I will go with my dark horse. But yeah, Shane, you know, never finished better than eighth in 10 appearances at Sawgrass. Obviously, I think he's gained a lot of new fans, and what I mean by that is TGL, you know, played for Bay FC. The
new
dude just
fan here.
seems to love like indoor golf for whatever reason, and I think he's wearing the Sharks jersey, the Niners jersey, the Giants jersey, so he's
He's a
become like an
vibe.
honorary Bay Area native. I mean, who can forget him, you know, walking in the rain at Royal Port Rush, you know, basically his backyard. Winning that major, winning the Open Championship, and you just see a crowd of people like behind him. That was one of the better images of 2019 and the Open Championship. And guess what? We're going back to Portrush in July for the Open Championship. Um, obviously he lives in Florida. Everybody, most of your golfers do. He's played well the last 2 weeks. He finished tied for 11th at the Cognizant Honda, whatever you want to call it, at the Bear Track, and seventh at Bay Hill. I think he's up there in the favorites. He's been getting a lot of good odds there.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that scares me, and we saw this on Saturday too, is just that putter. He was just missing like 6, 8 feet and just
Yeah. Yeah.
not even like missing it by a half an inch. I mean, he
Yeah.
was just like steamrolling the putt. So that worries me a little bit, especially if he's there Sunday, either two back, one back, or even maybe have a one shot lead. Is just that putter, he just kind of speeds through it. I think just a
Yeah.
little bit of adrenaline, but like I say, he's a terrific iron player. He can drive it to where it needs to go. He's not the longest of guys, but he's really accurate with his driver. Just that putter, man. I'm a little worried about him, missing like a 6 footer on 16 or a 5 footer for par on 17. Where you need to make those.
Yeah. My second overall pick, no in particular old order. I'm going with Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark was, he had to find his groove early on this season. He wasn't really near the top. He was kind of, barely making cuts. But he, another player that found his stride at Bay Hill, and he played there. He had a top five finish last year at the Players. Um, just a solid dude. What, 2 years ago he won the U.S. Open? Is that when
Yeah,
he won?
2023 at the LACC.
LACC. Shout out to him. Um, I'm going with Wyndham Clark. I don't know if he's gonna win it all, but he's gonna be in contention, and he's proven he can play well at TPC. So, go with Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, that would be a great redemption story of you know, karma, 18 full last year, 72nd hole was literally a lip out away from something that they in the playoff, and who knows how that would play because he birdied 17 the hole
Yeah,
before. And it was just really on Scottie's heels to tie it. I actually met Wyndham a couple months ago at Pebble Beach. He's a really cool dude.
yeah.
Obviously, an inspirational story for those that
Probably
don't.
gave him your bad juju. So,
Oh no, I did not. I didn't have that municipal. I didn't have that municipal gear on, so maybe I could give him that. So I'm gonna go with my dark horse here. This guy is one of the more entertaining follows on Twitter because he just like literally posts all of his like I don't know round notes or just like what he's doing, and it's like a 6 tweet thread. But he's been playing some of the best golf of his professional career. California Golden Bear alumni Michael Kim. Uh,
no,
yeah, that's my dark horse.
no, come
Yeah,
on. There's a
yeah, man.
field of 156
Mike,
players, and we
Michael
choose the
Kim.
same dark horse. Oh my,
Yeah. I didn't look at your notes. He peekaboo, peekaboo like Kendrick Lamar.
that's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, five straight finishes of 13 for better. He almost won in Phoenix at the WM Phoenix Open,
Yeah.
and just got Thomas Dietrich was just playing lights out
Like, yeah, that
on
guy's
the back
21.
down.
Yeah.
But he made some noise. Three of those were six or better. And remember what I said at the beginning of this podcast, and we can't foresee the future, what any golfers' careers are going to look like, but you just get some odd winners at this championship,
You can be the odd winner.
you get a Fred Fuck, you get a Tim Clark, you get a Martin Keimer. Even though he's won two majors, he had that 2014 blip, and then obviously Siwoo Kim, uh, hey Michael Kim. I mean, he could be the guy holding that golden trophy on Sunday.
Yeah.
Will I expect him to hold a 54-hole lead? No, I think you'll see him like in a tie for eighth, and the field will come back, and he'll just do enough to get the biggest win of his life, the biggest win of his career, and really just catapult him into a guy that is just playing spectacular golf this year.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, that was my dark horse. I mean, ditto. Well, like that's all I was
Ditto.
gonna say. So, My third overall pick here, no particular order. Keegan Bradley. This guy shot 8 under at Bay Hill on Sunday. He had the lowest round. He's coming off that momentum. He always, another guy that's, I don't know. Maybe he is under the radar. I think people feel bad for him because he didn't get picked for the Ryder Cup. Now he's gonna be, captain. But I think he's out. He's trying to prove himself. I think this year, and I think it's someone that could get it done. You just got to piece it together and have four great rounds in a row. But yeah, with the 8 under at Bay Hill, tough day too when scores were low or higher. Um, I like Keegan this week. Why not? Why not us?
Why not? He just has that. I think when he got named the Ryder Cup captain, I don't know why he just has this like death stare look, and he's just so focused. I think on just proving everybody wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
he wants to kick their ass.
Yeah, and
But
not necessarily. I think at Zach Johnson or whatever, or he wants to prove like the golf media wrong, the PGA of America wrong. He's like you should have picked me in
yeah,
2023. Now you got me as the captain, and I ain't taking no prisoners. He just has
yeah.
that mentality this year. I haven't really seen that out of him probably since he won the PGA at Atlanta Athletic Club and going into that spectacular Ryder Cup he had at Medina. Forgettable result for the United States of America, but yeah, it would be good to see him contend. I would not be surprised if he wins. If he wins, he'll be on the team as a player captain, which should be interesting because then who's gonna get captain's picks? But that's still a little too early to tell. But yeah, he just has that mentality and that dog in him. Um, so my next pick, we mentioned his name plenty of times. That is the two-time defending champion, Scottie Scheffler. Look, he's trying to find his consistency back, like I mentioned, but he's made TPC Sawgrass like his personal playground. He's always avoided like the trouble holes, especially the past 2 years where he hasn't put any balls in the water at crucial times and crunch time moments. And like I said, 2 or 3 shots back out of the lead, and if that putter is getting red hot at the right time, he could be standing there near the clubhouse right there and holding his third consecutive players title.
Wow. So I try to go for players that are not like Rory or Scotty Scheffler or
Yeah.
anyone, but my go-to guy now, this guy's coming up. Uh, this guy's still young. He's probably gonna be one of the best European players of our this year's generation. I don't know, next generation. I'm going with Ludwig Aubert. This guy's solid. Unfortunately, he had to withdraw at the Farmers. He was sick. He was sick at Pebble. I mean, this guy had a rough West Coast swing, battling the sniffles. But Aubert, I think he's gonna find his groove. I like him again for the Masters as well. So don't be surprised that he may be one of my picks when that comes up. But he, this guy's just solid. You can't go wrong with this guy.
Yeah. He's actually my pick to win it. So I'll just spoil that right now. He's my pick to win it. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, I know he was on cruise control for the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey, and just got sick. And then Pebble, I don't know, he did not look like
Horrible.
himself at
Last place.
Spyglass Hill and had to withdraw. And then you go down 2 weeks later when the Genesis got relocated to Torrey Pines due to the unfortunate LA wildfires. Just won it in style. Had to birdie the 72nd hole, did that. He made his player's debut last year. He led the field in distance of all drives, ranked third in proximity en route to an eighth place finish. Obviously, the Masters finished second. The dude had all the tools to be a superstar, maybe even surpass Sweden's best male golfer, Hendrik Stenson. I think for me, obviously he's still young. I think he's still trying to figure out, how to piece it all together consistently. Would love to see him contend in more big tournaments. We see him at, regular tour stops here and there, but love to see him contend in more big tournaments. Similar guys have that problem too. Patrick Cantlay, I think, started to try and contend more in big tournaments, like he did at the U.S. Open. Obviously, Victor Hovland had that tied for third finish, and I put him in that group because, obviously they haven't won a major. Really talented golfers, but we just don't see him on the major leaderboards or big championship leaderboards like the players. So, but I think if Ludwig can, get that short game rolling, get that putter rolling, and that swing that looks like perfection, made out of addiction, made out of like God created it.
Yeah.
Here's your swing. That's Ludwig Oberg. Yeah, I think he's due for a superstar defining win this weekend.
Well, and then finally, my last pick. This guy won last year, and it kind of put his name on the map. This guy could be my dark horse, but I think he already won this year, so I don't really think it makes him a dark horse anymore. He's been pretty solid so far in the year. I'm going with Sepp Straka.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy's just solid all around, just like Ludwig Ober, but he's just a quiet guy. I kind of put him in the same category as Shane Lowry and No Bear, but yeah, looking like he could get a win here and boost his career.
I'm telling you, same thing with Oberg. That Ryder Cup at Lake Golf Nacional. Wow, I pronounced that correctly for our friends in France. That gave him so much confidence. So much, or no, I'm not sorry. It was at Lake Golf Nacional. I corrected myself. Marco Simone in Italy. I forgot the Ryder Cup's in Italy. My bad. Sorry to our Italian friends in Italy. Um, but that Ryder Cup gave him so much confidence. You could tell right away being in that environment. Sepp Straka, and he just, like I said, he was on cruise control at the Amex, just putted the daylights out of him, which I have never seen from him. Has a great tee to green game. Like I said, it would be nice to just see him get into contention here.
All right, sorry about that brief, not brief, but what's the word? Uh,
Technical difficulty that we
yes,
have, a little
yeah,
blip
yeah,
on the
yeah,
radar.
yeah.
Yes.
Or my internet went out. Weird.
Done, and he left on the biggest cliffhanger, bigger than a Sopranos season series finale. My last two picks, and I had a tough time doing that, but we'll go rapid fire quickly. This guy we met at California Pizza Kitchen. I know Patrick was there, and my boy Jiggy Jake. Shout out to Jake. What's up? Hideki Matsuyama, and I think we all forgot how much he just looked like himself, looked like the guy who won the Masters in 2021, won the Century earlier this year. Loves TPC Sawgrass because he has 7 total rounds of 67 or better, including the course record that he had. I think it was like a 63 or 62 in 2020, which is ironic because it's been 5 years since the sports world shut down in the pandemic today. So,
Shout
yeah,
out Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, yeah, that should be a documentary. It feels like it's a matter of time, given this guy's superstar talent level, that he can get back into contending for big events. And I would not be surprised to see him take this one off his list and win the Players. And lastly,
The, sorry,
or
one
go
thing
go for
about
Rudy.
Matsuyama, I heard he's going through some putter troubles. He can't find the right model. He's tinkering. He has a new putter every tournament, so hopefully he finds the one if that is the case and Derek gets his win. But yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, go on.
he'll just do, yeah, and he goes for like 2, 3 drivers too. I'm like, dang, dude, and it's still.
He won. Like that's the crazy thing. He won at the Century. Just use what you're using at the Century. But
The
hey,
dude, yeah, he's a
whatever.
tinker.
He had a 3D printed putter the last tournament or whatever.
He's a
Crazy.
tinker, and then somehow his game just shows up with it. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix his style. Lastly, this guy is having a bounce back year. I think a lot of us have seen the talent over and over again. Two PGA Championship titles. Um, in his career. He won the Players in 2021. Give me some JT, Justin Thomas, who he's had 3 top 10 finishes. Like I said, finished, I believe, runner up at the Amex and just ran into a buzzsaw on Sepp Straka. Um, He is due, the great words of Roy Jones Jr. Y'all must have forgot. I feel like is due for that tournament, and when he wins, he's gonna be like, "Remember me? Remember who I am?" And listen, guess what? It's a Ryder Cup year, and you know he gets fired up for any of these team events. So I think he's due to re-announce, allow him to reintroduce himself,
Yeah.
like Jay-Z said. I think he's due to win, and obviously, I think the key is he needs to get off to much better starts.
Yeah, talk
Uh,
about someone who
Tournament
needs to
players.
piece it together like
Yeah,
4 rounds in a row. He
yeah,
can't just shoot 6 under, four
yeah,
over,
yeah,
3 under. Yeah, it's just yeah. I want JT to get back to the winner circle as well.
me too.
I love that guy. He's
Yeah,
ever since spring break, man, with Ricky, Smiley, and
yeah.
Jordan. Man, those are the good days. But yeah, hopefully JT comes through.
And we didn't say Rory. What? Uh-oh. I think
I told you I don't. I'm not gonna pick the top names, but
we're saving him for Augusta National, where he needs to complete this career Grand Slam.
I don't think he's gonna
Um,
get it done. So
Rory, we saw him peak in February with that pro am where he just like another Sunday
lights out, man.
lights out, and then he's just kind of, I wouldn't say disappeared, because he's kind of gotten like your fridge top 10 finish or top 15 finish, but obviously it's a big tournament. He's won there in 2019. But I just need to see some of that juice, that fire, that we saw with Rory back in the early
Yep.
2010s, and just start being the Rory of old. When he has that bounce in his step, and you guys know when you have that swagger walk going, and I know the people in the streets know what a swagger walk is. Look out. Look out. I'm telling you right now, it's that bounce in the step, and when he's just like walking with the broad shoulders.
Yeah.
And I know golf fans know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
when he's walking down the 18th fairway. Look out, because that just closes out the show. But
Exactly.
I need to see it. I need to see it from Rory. I can't just give it to him. I need to see it.
Yeah. But that's it.
That's
That's it
it.
for this episode.
Yep.
First episode of the new series on both of our podcasts, Birdies and Banter. Uh, Derek, go ahead, plug your socials.
Of course, folks, you can follow me at Instagram at DQ42 Golf Life, on X, that was created by President Musk. Oh, sorry. You can follow me at DerrickQ42, Facebook, Derrick Ow, Snapchat. I don't rarely use it anymore, but everybody still has it. The Dr. Golf Trade 1. And then, yeah, follow the podcast on Instagram and X at CFTUD Pod. We are on Spotify and all the other podcast platforms. And yeah, it's exciting. And by the way, if you have questions for us throughout all these birdies of banter, we will post them live right here. We will answer them as honestly as we can, even though we might not know everything about the game of golf. We'll do our best. So we will send that. Please ask us questions. We'll be happy to answer them. Just not about our personal lives, because we don't want to get to unveil the secrets on here on this show. But yeah, birdies of banter. Excited to continue this good show that we had. A lot of laughs, a little mini technical difficulty that disappeared like Chris Angel. But yeah, we're excited. And it's great to be back with my brother Patrick on his show.
Yeah, feels good. I'm not gonna plug my personals, but go follow Noah and I on Instagram and TikTok at the MPP Live. Hopefully maybe I'll post a little something from this episode on TikTok, but you never know. I'm not in charge of TikTok, so I gotta go through my co-host there and see
I
if
don't.
get that approved or not. But
Yeah. Lastly, folks, I don't have a TikTok. I never got one. So if you think I should be on TikTok, you can just tag in the comments, and maybe I might create one before we get eventually shut down.
yeah.
Who knows, next month, couple months, year or so.
All right, all good. We'll post a recap of the Players Championship next week, probably same time, same day. So, excited for the first one to be done, and looking forward to the rest of the season with Derek.
Yep. Let's have some fun.